Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Death on the Nile. I'm pretty excited because this came right out of the movies and is now on HBO Max. Although my HBO Max just timed out, I have to bring it back up. So I'm excited about that. I think that's pretty neat. I've been wanting to see this movie for a while, and I thought it usually has to run through, buy it, and all that kind of stuff, and then maybe you can get on Redbox or on Amazon Prime or on DirecTV. No, it's on HBO Max. So if you have HBO Max, you're ready to go. Now, here's the two interesting things. Ready? No, that was the one interesting thing. It's right out on HBO Max, right? So it's a movie about some detective who has to, I think he's a detective, or some guy, I'll say, who has to solve a mystery on a boat ride down the Nile, right? On a vacation down the Nile. So here's the other interesting thing, is the fact that this, right, so as I look at this, and you could do this too if you have HBO Max, I'm not spoiling anything, Death on the Nile, you look at the picture, right here on my screen, you see Gal Gadot. You see Armie Hammer, right? And that's all I really recognize right now. They're hard to tell you. It's a pretty neat picture. You come to, it depends on your phone. And I don't know, I don't have an Apple anymore. I'm all Android and Samsung, of course. And this is my flip phone. I'm recording it with an S22. Something wrong with my camera, whatever. So hopefully this works out. But when I look on here, and I look at the top billed cast, Tom Bateman, Annette, Russell Brand, and you could go through all of them. And there's a bunch of people I don't know. There's people without pictures. No Gal Gadot. No Armie Hammer. So that makes me think, when I used to have an iPhone, it would show like the biggest stars, I'll say, as the top billed cast, or who's there. And then it wouldn't be in as much. Like you see this a lot with Bruce Willis movies. But in this case, so I'm guessing, I have no idea, this is a remake of an older film that Gal Gadot and Armie Hammer aren't in as much as these other people. As Annette, as Tom Bateman. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. I could be fooled. I don't know. But that's my guess. And I know you're probably saying, wow, it's a Tuesday night. You're watching a 2-hour film. I know. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm that excited. I'm not going to wait till the weekend. So, all right, that's it. Stick around. I'm going to find out what's going on with IMDb between Android and iPhone. See if there's any truth to my logic. And then I'm also going to tell you a little bit about the movie. All right, I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're going to do a quick check-in here. We're watching Death on the Nile. We're at the 1 hour, 5 minute, and 17 second mark. And I tell you what, perfect timing. Just over halfway. It's 2 hours and 6 minutes and 55 seconds to loop you in on what's going on. So let's just talk really about our phones. I don't know why. So now, an hour of this movie has gone by. And for 95% of that movie, Armie Hammer and Gal Gadot are in the entire thing. So, essentially what has happened, just to give you some of the plot line, Armie Hammer is with his fiancée, which is not Gal Gadot, in the beginning, and then he meets her, he leaves his fiancée and goes with her, okay? And there's more backstories. It really starts with the detective, I guess you will, or the mystery solver. It shows a little depth of his character, where he's come from. But then it really gets into the two of them, and ultimately they end up getting married 6 weeks later. And they go out on this honeymoon in Egypt, where the ex follows them and is like intruding on their honeymoon. Now they go out with a bunch of people, so it's like family and friends and ex-boyfriends or ex-husband, ex-fiance. It's interesting that happens. Anyway, so they're afraid of her, of course, and so they go onto this boat where they invite, again, everybody that's been on their honeymoon with them. She follows them there. So now, at this point, a murder has happened, as you can probably get. Also, Gal Gadot's character is an heiress. She has tons of money. Armie Hammer, on the other hand, does not. His character has nothing, but he somehow gets her to marry him. And so now, of course, she's rich beyond belief. He's lucky enough to have all that money. And and also they do a good job, like not over the top, but like kind of giving you a glimpse into other characters. Not everybody. I mean, they cover everybody, so you know who they are. You got a little bit about them, but they go into they don't go into great detail, but you got a good idea on, okay, the whole thing is now who's the murderer, and it's going to be like Clue, I think, and so this detective is going to try and piece it all together, is what I'm expecting is going to happen right now, and it just happened. It's perfect timing. Now, I mentioned Russell Brand is not even initially recognizable. And maybe you're looking for the way he's always looked, but not a lot of speaking parts either for him in this. So I think that's interesting. So we're going to see where it goes. I think this is now where it's going to be fun. They're going to try, everybody's, who's all got the motive. Some people have more motive than the other, that piece, and then we're going to figure it out at the end. So should be interesting. I'm still not sure why they're not in IMDb in the first piece of top billed cast. Because even though things have happened right now, they're still the main focus of this entire movie thus far. So, interesting. So, all right, let me get back to it here, see where it goes, and maybe we'll have an explanation. But more importantly, you'll have an understanding of what I think about the film and if it's worth watching. Hopefully, it keeps us going. All right, stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Death on the Nile, and I have to say I liked it. I did. It kept me entertained the whole time. I like these kinds of things, like murder mysteries, and there's going to be it's clues left throughout that you can figure. So one of the things, and this isn't a spoiler alert, but I just, there's one thing I don't like is in certain movies like this, murder mystery, we'll call it, then that they throw like I like how they leave breadcrumbs and you can try and solve it on your own, and then at the end it's like, oh, that was there and I missed that, or oh, I knew that, or blah, 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 blah. I don't like when they're like, oh, and then, the alien did it, an alien came from outer space and did it. You know what I mean? Like the unthinkable, or they just throw something else in, like they tricked you the whole time and then they just brought something else in to make it happen. So they don't do that here. They set it up well. They keep you guessing, and I think in the end they did a good job. I liked it. I don't want to say I guessed it myself because I kept changing my mind throughout the whole thing, So, I probably should have wrote it down, and whatever. Who cares? But that's the fun of it, right? So that was the best part about this. I think I like the whole, and I know it's a remake, but I like the whole plot theory. I like a lot of good development, I think, for most of the characters. I think they could have gone, but I mean, how much longer do you want this film to be? They could have gone in a little bit deeper with some of the other ones, the godmothers and stuff like that there. And here's one piece. It's not a spoiler alert, but the detective, whatever his name was, right? So there's the detective, and then his I think he called him, it was Tom Bateman, Buck, or B-O-U-C, Boke is what he calls him, Boke, right? So the detective starts off the movie in a piece that really had no significance, I don't feel, and I might have missed it, except for his knowledge of love, I guess, is what, maybe that's what the whole first piece was, and that's kind of how it ties out throughout the entire movie, because the movie is all about love and loss, and so maybe that's the piece of it that I kind of missed. Not that that's spoiler, but he meets up with Boke, right, and kind of his right hand man throughout the entire, not the entire movie, but the investigation. But the piece that's missing is, prior to them meeting on screen for us, you feel like there's some kind of connection that we should all be made aware of. and there should be depth built behind that relationship. It wasn't there for me. I mean, you could tell that they were friends prior, and then as things continue to develop, you see that there's something there that wasn't presented to us. I didn't fall asleep. I didn't miss it. But that, I think, was a necessary piece that they should have kept in. You know, okay, you can't go into too much depth with all the other characters that I mentioned. You know, only some. Okay, you got to skim somewhere. This movie's going to take forever. But that was a piece I think it missed. Didn't ruin the film, but it would have made the film better. Again, if they call me ahead of time, say, watch this film, don't tell anybody, give us your thoughts, they get this little nugget that would have made it. I think it was 6.7 on IMDb. I probably would have made it a 7 with that. No, I don't know. But in my eyes, it would have made that piece a little bit better. But otherwise, I thought it was good. It was entertaining. One mystery that is not solved is why Android shows different characters than Apple on IMDb. I'm gonna have to research it. I thought I would figure it out. I don't think there's more screen time. Definitely not the way that they did it. I don't think that there's. I mean, there might be a little bit more, but there's no Gal Gadot or Armie Hammer, and they're throughout this entire movie. So that mystery continues. If you know, put it in the comments. Also, before you go, let me know what you think. If you've seen my other reviews with the Canon, the DLSR. Now this is an S22. Until I get a new card, I'm going to have to use this. So I'm going to see. I don't know what it looks like now, but I'll see when I cut it up and edit it if it's any better. But that's it. That's all I got for you. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.